So yesterday when we watched the game, people they point out the loopholes, the tactical loopholes, and say, listen, this man has a very good team and he should be dominating, right profile of players, etc. Struggled against Spain. First of all, would you credit him for that win yesterday against Spain?
First of all, let me say a big hi to all our listeners, and it's always a joy to be here on Monday nights. I mean, it's almost becoming a ritual.
Absolutely,
so,
absolutely,
yeah. But so back to your question, I'll credit him for the changes at halftime, because for me, it's okay to make a mistake, but once you realize your mistake and you make changes to rectify it a bit, I'll respect you for that, and for bringing on a right back, a typical right back, when the game needed one, is something I'll credit him for. In the end, he was able to contain the threat of Spain. He was able to neutralize all their most dangerous outlets, and he brought the trophy home. Once he brought the trophy home, he deserves credit for that. But there are worrying signs. There are so many worrying signs. I mean, when you look around Europe, this season, one of the best central defensive midfielders has been João Neves. You do not take him out of his natural position for any reason. That stance he putting Neves at the right back for the first 45 minutes, I still do not understand it. I know he was inverting him, but no. Neves shouldn't be the one doing that job. Put him in the middle of the pitch. You see, the reason why the Spain of the late noughties and early 2010s dominated was because they didn't do much. They didn't change a lot. They saw Xavi and Iniesta had a very, very good partnership at Barcelona. They brought that into the Spanish national team. And don't get me wrong, Spain had very good midfielders at that time. At that time, they had Marcos Senna in 08. Along the line, Xabi Alonso. Even
Fabregas.
Late Fabregas.
Even Fabregas was playing a false nine for Spain.
Exactly. All these guys could have been put in that midfield at the expense of that partnership. But you see, they might be individual players. There was even David Silva. Even later in that period, there was Javi Martinez, who I rate highly. All these guys could have started for Spain at the central midfield pivot, but no. Luis Aragonés and then Vicente Del Bosque, they noticed that this partnership is what is making Barcelona tick. So why do we change something that isn't broken? Let's bring it into the Spanish national team. And if you remember, even in 2010, from 2010 to 2011, he even involved Sergio Busquets in it, because it is something that has been working. At that point, for that period, they were the most potent midfield in the world. The same way Vitinha and João Neves, they've been dominating. They've been look at what they did to that Inter Milan midfield.
They nullified them. They decimated them completely.
So why I don't understand why he didn't want us to see that partnership in the Portuguese national team.
Maybe he's hiding it, waiting for the water.
if you remember, even in the semi-final, he didn't start Vitinha. So it really beats my mind. But did he think they were too tired?
I think he started Ruben Neves yesterday.
Yes. It really beats. So these are the signs I'm talking about. There are a few things, because this Portugal team is stacked. This has been one of their most talented squads. Like the age of the group. I go back to I think 2004 to them having this group of young talent. So if something is going to happen for them, and with the old man nearing the end of his career, they need to take advantage of it now.
Charlie, this Martinez conversation, Ajo, it worry plenty people because they feel that Martinez and Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting have the same agent. That's why he's able to get the jobs that he gets. I mean, from Wigan Athletic, Everton, now to Belgium, a golden generation with which he did absolutely nothing, and now Portugal. I mean, should the man be looking himself in the mirror? You are the one who's done a bit of coaching, so I mean, you understand tactics. I mean, what could it be? What could the issue be? Is it because he's very stubborn in his ways, or he doesn't understand the profile of players he has, or he's just over-tweaking and overthinking? What could the issues be?
Overthinking in football is not a bad thing if you are going to win. And he won the ultimate. So I think we are not being fair to the gentleman in the sense that he has coached in Belgium, he has coached in England, he's at Portugal right now. He has learned from his mistakes, but we want to always tag him and keep the same narrative around him that maybe because he's an average coach, he's bound to make mistakes.
But do you think he's an average coach? I mean, for somebody who's
I think he's improving. I think he's improving, and we don't want to give him that credit. You see, let Pep tweak this system. Let Pep put Neves at right back and put Silva in the midfield with Vitinha and win the tournament. Nobody will say anything about it.
But do you think Pep would do something like that if we were stronger?
Pep always wants to try something new. He will try something like that. You see, if Pep wins a trophy and that's something strange, hey, he's the genius, he's the Pep, he's the man.
He's the next big thing since sliced bread.
What if? Yes, it's a cup game. It's a final. It's also like a preseason or like a friendly game. A nice friendly game for these teams preparation for the World Cup. What if he is trying something else as his plan B for a World Cup? And who are his right backs? Semedo, is he that good? No.
But we saw him come on yesterday and he was
maybe that's what he can do. Maybe Semedo can come and give you 30 minutes of super football.
I mean, Diego Dalot is on that bench.
Dalot, average, below average. Onyadie, he's not serious.
But why isn't he more a specialist?
So, when this thing was happening, I was like, so are we downplaying what Bernardo Silva can do in midfield for a coach? Or are we being recency biased and just remember that okay, Vitinha and Neves are balling for PSG they're balling for PSG, so that's all for them? No. If he's playing Vitinha and he's playing Silva in midfield, it's also equally a very good partnership. We cannot disrespect Bernardo Silva. At least Neves no better past Silva in all our estimations. Even though Neves is also Silva is also like a very versatile midfielder. So I don't see anything wrong with what he's trying to do. Maybe he's trying to experiment. And it's not fair if we say, should he be sacked? Should he be sacked? No.
I don't think we are saying he should be. We are just, I mean, all I was trying to find out is one, I mean, I asked him if he should take credit for it.
Yeah.
And also, if he is the right man to take this Portugal team.
And one thing he has done that we should really give him credit for is the way he has blended the experience and the young ones coming up, and how he has gotten the role for Ronaldo, and how he has gotten that relationship with Ronaldo as compared to when the media distorted the vibe between Ronaldo and their former coach. If you remember, the media were the ones who were entering the man's head. Oh, get rid of Ronaldo, bench him. Ronaldo yesterday was even pressing. Yes, his link up plays a little bit dull right now, but the presence in the box he will always give you. He is Ronaldo, the best finisher football has ever produced. Ever since I started to watch football, I don't know anybody else but him. He's that guy.
He's the best striker of all time.
Finisher of all time. For me, the way I watch my football, I don't want to say finisher and striker. Poacher, fair enough, but striker comes with a lot of things for me.
So is he a better finisher than the likes of Filippo Inzaghi?
Fair enough.
And Ronaldo.
Phenomenal.
Ronaldo of Brazil is the best forward I've ever seen in football. Bring any name out, I'll mention Ronaldo Nazario. Bring any name.
But you said Cristiano Ronaldo is the best finisher in the world.
Finisher, yeah.
Of all time.
Yeah, finisher.
Finisher of all time.
Yeah, finisher.
But there have been finishers.
Yeah, but Ronaldo is the best for me. He's the goat of that action. He's Ronaldo.
So nobody has done it better than him.
For me. I started watching football.
Miroslav Klose.
You can mention names. It's Ronaldo from the best finisher ever.
Filippo Inzaghi.
The best finisher ever.
Andrea Shevchenko.
Ronaldo, the best finisher ever. Read my list. Ronaldo, the best finisher ever.
Raul Gonzalez.
And this is coming from somebody whose goat is Messi.
Raul Gonzalez.
The best finisher ever, Ronaldo. But the best forward of all time for me, Ronaldo is Nazario. Nobody comes close. So you have to be specific with what you are saying. Difference there.
Ajo, do you mean the best number 9 or
the best number 9?
When you say the best forward,
no,
because forward involves wingers. Lionel Messi is a forward.
Okay, yeah. I've said what I've said. Listen,
no, I want you to be explicit. Because Lionel Messi is a forward.
Ronaldo of Brazil can play in every position, like in the forward role. You get me? Yeah, we saw that. Maybe the right wing was a little bit limited for him.
I think as a winger, you'll be. I mean, he's got the power, he's got the precision, he's got the drive, but you waste him as a winger. Yeah, because he wouldn't cross.
But if you put him on number 9, he won't be stagnant there. He was always moving. That guy. If I watched,
he's the best number 9 ever.
Yes, for
there's
me.
no question about it.
No. Okay. He can be the best number 9 ever.
Yeah.
But his finishing abilities cannot be compared to probably Ronaldo.
But if he's the best number 9 ever, the biggest attribute of a number 9.
Yeah, but there are more things that complement your finishing. as a number 9.
So you think
maybe Ronaldo was not that skillful on the ball after he moved to Madrid, but we saw Brazil Ronaldo consistent with one style throughout his.
But is he a number 9 first of all?
Who, Ronaldo?
Cristiano.
No, he became a number 9 when he moved to Madrid.
Are you sure?
Yeah, when you changed.
Maybe he became a forward player, but he wasn't a definitive number 9.
So like a wing forward, but he was always in the box.
But he always had the freedom to float because of his finishing abilities.
That is what made him different.
But I don't think we've ever categorized Ronaldo as a number 9. It's Cristiano.
Cristiano. That word on him, number 9. I made him a number 9.
I think Mourinho said that. But throughout his career, would anybody identify CR7 as a number 9?
I think we don't have this conversation, but we have to. The man became a number 9 when he moved to Madrid. When Mourinho did that transition for him, he became a number 9, a finisher.
No, I think over time his play style involved him inverting gradually towards the box, and obviously over time becoming more of a center striker,
like a wing forward.
Yeah, but he didn't start out as a number.
Because I mean, some of these players, you look at their positions, and I believe some players invented certain positions.
Yeah.
You look at Frank Lampard. What was he? Was he a number 10? Was he a number 8?
Yeah.
Was he a number 6?
Yeah.
What was Frank Lampard?
8.5.
That's what made them special. So it's good you're having this conversation. Yeah. You cannot know their definite position they are playing, but they are always there for you. And we have to credit those coaches who made them become those players. So for me,
just to add to what you're saying, let's also forget that all the things we are saying, the positions we are mentioning, they were in different formations.
Exactly.
So they mean different things.
Exactly.
So for example, Lampard played predominantly in a diamond. So in that you cannot say he's a typical number 8 in a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
It's a different role altogether. So the positions might be the same, but the roles might be very different.
Absolutely.
So to end what I was saying about Martinez, let's give him that respect. He will take Ronaldo to the World Cup. He will find that blend, that balance again. They have a solid squad. My problem is his defense. But you see, this is a coach who is trusting Renato Vega to be playing good football. Well, we should credit him. I think he has done well. He has made mistake with my country, Belgium, a lot, but he has done his own work, and he has won a trophy like for the first time in 14 years. So let's credit him for what he has done. And if Ronaldo, as a player, has a connection with the coach, that means you are doing something special for him, because he's the Portugal national team. Before, when he came, they had won nothing. He comes in and they've won trophies, 3. So he has done it. Figo, where is Figo? Where are you? We didn't see you anywhere for them. So he has done it. And let's credit all the players that also came in and helped. I like the penalty shootout. I like Bruno, the next captain of Portugal. And that guy, I wish he would leave United.
So he's talking about the next captain of Portugal. Yeah. But a lot of people are, and I'm also talking about the next generation of Portugal. We've spoken about Ronaldo, waxed lyrical about him. But Portugal have got players at a very good age, 25, 26. People are saying, listen, Ronaldo should take an ambassadorial role in this team and give the next generation a chance to flourish, because he's holding back a lot of players by still deciding to play a starring role. First of all, is that something you agree with?
I don't agree with it. And I'll start off by saying that last time you've asked me this question before. Back in the day, and I said, yes, he's holding them, but I sat back in hindsight and I look at it and I say, maybe those guys haven't showed that level of consistency.
If you've not been given the opportunity, how would they show it?
I understand. And people sometimes say, you can take off Ronaldo and then you put in Jota. But people would also take you back to the game we saw yesterday and say the chance that fell to Semedo right before the game ended, if it fell to Ronaldo, he's taking it away.
But how would you know that for sure?
Because we saw it in the game when that slight chance fell to Cucurella, and then he put him off balance, and then he one touch from Ronaldo.
So what shows if Jota was there, he wouldn't have put that away as well?
I mean, Jota came on when Semedo had that chance. And
so now we are just doing syllogisms.
Yes. So I'm just saying that there's this whole, the coach trusts him. That's for starters, the coach trusts him. And maybe when these guys come on, Rafael, I think he had a good cameo. But even he hasn't been consistent. João Felix too hasn't been consistent. All these guys.
That's what João Felix is.
So
I've been saying that Charlie, it be house matter. No, João Felix. It's inexplicable.
Gala and Benfica, they want João Felix.
Yeah, they said they want to pay 25 million for him or something.
So just to answer, I think all these guys haven't quite shown the level of consistency and longevity that Ronaldo has, and that for me is always going to go in his favor. Now, to come back to the Martinez subject, this is a man that walked into the dugouts in 2023. He's managed them for 30 games so far. He has won 23, drawn 2, and lost 5. If you ask me, that's a number of, good win ratio, if you ask me. And some would say that, yes, he underachieved with this Belgium side. I think for all of his prowess and all of what he has done with Wigan and Everton,
he's been a manager that has largely underachieved most of the time. And I think that's one of his problems he needs to probably fix along his career. He's got a good Portugal side with Ronaldo in the twilight of his career, like you said. There are a few cracks in the wall that maybe he needs to not just necessarily paper over, but fix completely. And I would start with, like you said, the João Neves situation. That's one. I think if a coach doesn't know how to deploy his players in the best of positions to bring the best out of them, it's questionable. I'm not saying you should start João Cancelo, but if João Cancelo is, an out-and-out right back and João Neves is
we even forgot that they had Cancelo.
Yes.
But even Diego Dalot is decent.
Even Diego Dalot is there.
Exactly. He could do a job. That was my point. You don't need a world-class player in every position.
Anyways.
Yesterday, Spain started Oscar Mengueza, who I thought Pedro Porro would have done a better job than. Obviously, De La Fuente knows what he's thinking. But you won't see Spain starting Busquets in the right-back position.
Absolutely not.
And so it just changes the whole dynamic of...
It's like playing Zubimendi at right back.
At right back. Mm-hmm. And so these are...
maybe Arteta will do it.
I think that
he plays Thomas Partey.
You see, there are some players that when you play them there, Sergio Roberto was a central midfielder, but if you play him at right back, he can't play there. Some can't play there.
Even he evolved. It's like this guy, Miles Kelly.
Yes.
Yeah, those players, they evolve and become
better at even the next role you put them in. Joshua Kimmich started as a defensive midfielder. Pep tried to make this guy a centre back and a right back, and it worked to some extent.
Even if you bring it to Ghana, Joseph Pinso, he started as a number 10.
Yeah, but now over time now he's been played. He's been deployed as a winger. So
John Pinso rather. Sorry.
Okay, so John. That's what I mean. Yeah. But so just to come back to, I think he has those issues to fix. People would say you should start the best system that works for you. Yeah. Put your best foot forward. I think over time he will get it right. And there's another situation that people sometimes, don't agree with, which is like you said, the Ronaldo holding them back factor. Some people say yes, he's holding them back because the team has to adapt to his, age and style of play to play. And I think sometimes it could hold them back. Both of these things can be true.
No. Let's be explicit.
No, I'm saying
it's either he's holding them back or he's not.
And I'm saying you can't necessarily say he's holding them back when the guy is also delivering too. But you see, in a way, Portugal played to suit him. Because obviously you have a target man in Ronaldo. So if anything, it has to go through Ronaldo. On another day, let's just say for a large time that since Messi left Barcelona, nothing has gone through any, in quotes, Messi dependency kind of player. They've changed their style. Now this season we've seen it come from Rafinha, we've seen it come from Lewandowski, and even Lamine Yamal. The same can't be said for Portugal, because for a last time now it's been Ronaldo. So maybe even in his absence we might see Vitinha step up, we might see Bruno Fernandes step up, even Rafael Leao step up. All of these things are, I think, situations where he needs to fix. Some might even say he needs to regulate Ronaldo's game time, like Zlatan said last week. You need to know when to start Ronaldo and when not to start Ronaldo.
So maybe you should do what Argentina are doing with Messi.
And he just needs to know how to handle it. But for a manager who has largely underachieved, I think the Nations League gives him sort of a lifeline to stay in the job. Some people might have been coming for his neck at this point, saying that, you know what, they should get him out. But I think he winning it just keeps him in the row, in the hot seat until the World Cup, maybe.
Yesterday we saw Jose Mourinho in the stands.
Yes, I was about to mention his name.
Yes, and people were saying that, listen, he owes Portugal national service to take them to the World Cup and make sure they win a trophy. But then again, there's another school of thought that says Jose Mourinho is finished. He is washed. He's done all he can in football, so he shouldn't think about using a national team as a retirement package. First of all, do you think Jose Mourinho is finished?
Look, before Eustace comes in,
what the question?
Before in the run-up to the 2022 World Cup, I was after Portugal qualified. You know, they had to go through the back door to qualify. After they qualified, I saw the signs clearly. The coach wasn't good enough. I think coaches, teams should know when to let go of coaches. He had won the Euros. It was enough for him. After the Euros win, you could see that he wasn't the man to take them forward. So I felt ahead with the squad they had, and with the kind of players they had at that time, they needed a manager like Jose Mourinho to take them over the line. I look back at that Morocco game, and I can tell you, Mourinho would have managed that game better. That is one that I'm a firm believer that for Mourinho, you give Mourinho the chance to win 7 games and win the World Cup. He is going to at least perform better than every Portugal coach you've seen in the World Cup.
On the basis of what do you say so?
Mourinho knows how to get by some games. See, when the Mourinho team faces Morocco, he's not coming there to prove to the world that he's better than Morocco. He's coming there to win and qualify. That's one thing I believe. When it comes to tournaments of such stature, I believe in Mourinho. I believe he needs to coach a national team. And for me, I would have wanted him to come to Portugal 3 years ago, before they played in the World Cup. But for now, I don't think it is urgent. It's an urgent need to sack Martinez. So for me, that's the distinction I'll make. Had it been Fernando Santos still in charge, I would have been in support of that. But as of now, I don't think so.
But you've not answered my question.
Yeah.
Is Mourinho finished?
If you say finished for club football, I doubt he's ever going to get a top club to coach again, because his rep has like really come. Because I don't think a Chelsea is going to go in for him. I don't think a United is going to go in for him. I don't think a City will go in for him after Pep leaves. You go to Germany, I don't think Bayern will go back for him. I think these managers are looking to the next generation of coaches. These teams, are looking to the next generation of coaches. It's the clubs like Fenerbahce who want a lift up in their fan base. These clubs will go in for. And you see, for me, I feel like where he is right now, he fits perfectly. You see the fiery nature of of Turkish football, the rivalry between Fenerbahce and Galatasaray, where they throw open shots at each other. You need a manager like Mourinho to lead that charge.
So are you saying that Mourinho is outside the echelons of top football managers in the world right now?
Club football. For national teams, for a national team, I believe he can still.
No, let's generalize it.
Yeah.
Top managers in the world right now. Are you saying that Mourinho is not part of the top managers in the world as we speak?
As we speak, he's not going to get a top job. So I would say that, but
So it means invariably.
No, I don't know how I should explain it to you, but what I'm saying is this: he can do a job at a national team, but for the top clubs in the world, I doubt Mourinho is going to.
So invariably, you are saying that Mourinho is finished when it comes to top management.
Finished. He's not finished. He's finished at club level. No, for national team, he can do a job.
So you emphasize that he's finished at club level because you just talking about the fact that he has he's not going to be on the radar of any big club.
I doubt he's ever going to get a big club to coach.
So on the club level, you are emphatic about the fact that he's finished.
I am.
Cause why are you pushing it?
He's putting him in a hole because no. You see, and his only escape route is not even safe because theoretically he thinks Mourinho can coach a national team, but in reality,
no.
We saw that. Club football, we saw Hansi Flick.
Yeah.
Club football
is very
doesn't necessarily correlate. You don't have a lot of time with the players.
Yeah.
You see them once every 3 months. You have 2 matches. Mourinho has not been tried and tested as a national team. And you see, he spoke about coaching Portugal. I think when he was at Chelsea, was it Chelsea or United? He said he was going to coach Portugal as the last step of his coaching career. After he's done and he wants to retire, then he'll coach Portugal. He said that. He's on record to have said that. So he hasn't done it in actual reality. So when he says that he'll be a better nationality, on what basis? I want to know, on what basis you assume. We all know he's a brilliant guy when it comes to tournaments, short tournaments, home and away, knockout, and stuff like that. But you see, that's because I feel that he knows the quality of players he has. He knows how to go and get a job at Camp Nou with 10 men. He's certain coaches need to spend time to actually know the full strength of their squads. And as a national team coach, he won't have that time. You can ask Hansi Flick. When he coached Germany, it was a different story altogether.
And is the reason why De La Fuente is doing so well, because he was one of the coaches that was under 20
of
or
course.
so.
Under 23.
Because he knows them from ground up.
Of course. So he spent much more time with them. It's a system in his mind that works. He has a philosophy. It's just about changing personnel.
And even if you look at De La Fuente's, the trend of his call-ups, he likes to work with players that he knows.
Yes.
He's working from under 23 level.
And that's a luxury. That's a luxury that you won't have as a national team coach. So it's very difficult to assume that Mourinho. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Mourinho fan.
Yeah.
I'm a top Mourinho dog. Yeah. But when it comes to national team coaching, I think we should be a bit cautious. Because, and that's why he himself wants to take the job last.
The one main reason why clubs won't go for Mourinho is because he will fight with them after in the second season. That's the only.
But not necessarily.
But then again, you look at his tactical acumen in the last 5-6 years and the evolution of football. Are you sure it's because of the second season syndrome, or perhaps people are feeling that he does not quite measure up when it comes to modern football? Is that not why?
Awful take, bro. They are joking.
Why would you say so?
Don't respect Mourinho. No. Maresca has a job. Mikel is still coaching. Big club, Arsenal. Average coaches are enjoying football because now.
So are you saying Maresca and Mikel Arteta are average coaches?
Oh. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Average coaches.
Easily.
Average is average.
Easily.
Average is average.
Easily. The average coaches. I mean,
the Arsenal fans will come for you.
Oh, they should come.
I mean,
but average is average. No. I mean, the ceiling is there. The potential is there.
Helikem is warming up.
No. I'm not going to be done it. I'm not going to be done it.
I mean,
I'm not going to be done it.
if we are speaking about
No, I'm not saying it's about. No,
if you are speaking about Jose Mourinho, then Maresca and Arteta are average coaches. They are not in the same bracket.
And you see people who say Mourinho is worse. See, he went to AS Roma. Look at the materials there. He won an European trophy. We know the reason why a certain even Newcastle won't come from Mourinho, because there will be a rift between him and the board in the second season. That is the main reason. This man is a man management man. He will manage you better. He will improve you. He will tell you the truth. You don't want to hear the truth. Daddy will tell you the truth. That's all he's about. That's my role model, bro. So I'm a little bit emotional about him. See, when he did right now, I know they like.
No, but I think it's intentional. Mourinho is picking these teams on purpose.
Yeah,
I think so. I don't think he's washed up. I'm one of the people who thinks that Jose Mourinho is not washed up.
Yeah. So you think he can walk into the Premier League?
Anything, big bro.
He can coach any of the teams.
So if you
are fighting for the
if he comes to Chelsea, he's going to do a better job than Maresca.
They are fighting for the league.
Yeah,
easy. I think you.
But Mourinho has left most of his jobs not due to poor results or what he's not able to achieve. It's because of unnecessary stuff outside the game. You understand? Player rifts, getting in confrontation, but it's not solely down. If it's down to tactics, it means that he set a certain standard that he's not able to.
So the World Cup qualifier between Norway and Estonia, Norway have just taken the lead. They've got a very fearsome front line: Alexander Sørloth, Erling Haaland. Anyway, yes, back to you, Eustace.
Yeah, I was speaking about Mourinho. He's by no means washed up. Nobody should say that. The fact that and every time when he took the Fenerbahce job, he said that he had a lot of offers. A lot of clubs want him. But look at the start of his career. Porto, 2004, win the Champions League. Chelsea come for him. He tried very hard. In fact, he got Chelsea into a very for 50 years, Chelsea had not won the Premier League. People forget that. Yeah. He had Abramovich's dollars to back him, but he got a job done.
But even the players he brought in were not your quintessential.
They were not world class. Yeah, he made them. He had a lot of. Frank Lampard was not the Frank Lampard we got to know. Yeah. He came to meet Good Johnson, Jimmy Floyd, Hasselbank.
Yeah.
He had his own selection issues. He got people out. He got the players he wanted in. And look at what he did at Chelsea. For him to come back and coach Chelsea twice. He's coached Manchester United. And he's achieved everywhere.
So he won the league, came back and came to win the league again for Chelsea.
People think he can't adapt.
He's gone to Inter Milan in 2010. Crazy. And that was the time where Man United and Barcelona were dominating Europe. 2008, Man United Champions League final. 2009, Man United final. 2011, Man United final. He goes, and in between that, he's Inter Milan. He beats Barcelona. Yeah. And we've all seen the story of how he spoke to Moratti and says, get me Milito, get me Lucio. I need one or two. Very pragmatic football. Gets Inter Milan that Champions League. And to do it with the kind of teams, look at the teams he's won the Champions League with. Porto, Inter Milan. He's had torrid times at Chelsea, at Man United because of...
Even at Chelsea, he was unlucky.
Yeah.
Especially in one of those semi-final games.
Yeah.
Very unlucky.
Before Mourinho, who was Chelsea to play in the Champions League semi-final? They wouldn't even get there. They are not in that conversation. There's a lot of disrespect about Mourinho because of the trajectory he's decided to take, because of the kind of teams he's coaching, AS Roma, Fenerbahce. But believe me, I don't think Mourinho is short of office. I think if he goes to any of the big teams, if he will give you a job.
I think if he walks into Inter right now, he'll do a good job.
But Mr. Avotri, would you take him at Arsenal, considering the fact that now you need somebody to get you across the line? You've built something. Arteta seems to be faltering at that second place, bridesmaid. Would you need somebody like him to just nudge you across the line? Would you take him at Arsenal?
I'm a big Mourinho fan. But one criticism I've had of Jose Mourinho is he's failed to adapt. He's failed to modify his style of football. You see, a manager like Pep Guardiola, the football is playing now is the same tiki-taka we saw in 2009, but it's a different brand. And that is the reason why he has been exposed across the 38 game season in all the big clubs, the last few big clubs he's coached. I'm not going to count Tottenham because he was really done dirty at that club. But you see, at Manchester United, the first and second season, you saw the decline.
But he finished second.
Yes, he finished second. He finished second in the second season. The third season, you see, that second season, he thought he had done enough to win the league. He had 81 points. In his mind, he expected that to win the league. But no, football has changed. A different brand came to take over, and he beat him by 19 points. 81 points is not a bad return. But you see,
he won the league with Chelsea with 95 points.
Exactly. You see, but that was in 2005. I'm talking about what happened in 2018. So you see, when he at the start of that season, I go back to that season because it explains my point about Jose Mourinho. At the start of that season, he was very. If you watch his press conferences, he was very confident because he knew he had finally assembled a squad that was capable of winning the league. But the thing is that football at that point had moved on from what he was used to bringing. So another style had taken over and was more potent than his. So even though he did well and had 81 points, there was a style that got 100 points and won the league. So you see, that's my point about Jose Mourinho. He has failed to modify his.
Okay, I have a question for you on that point. Let me just come in on that point. So the brand of football, the evolution of football as we see it, the managers who are playing the new modern way of playing, the short passes, starving opponents of possession, etc., they have a certain profile of players. All of them have a checkbook to back it.
Yes.
Look at the clubs Mourinho has coached. When was the last time he coached a big team that could afford a player for 80 million or 100 million? Exactly. He hasn't had that luxury, so definitely he won't be able to play the kind of football you expect.
You're making my point actually, because those big teams who are willing to spend that money to buy those players want to play that style of football. So they are not going to appoint Mourinho because they know he's not coming to play that style of football. And that's what I'm saying. He's not going to be coaching any top club because he's not going to. Look, think about this. Burnley got relegated, but Bayern Munich took their manager because of that style of football. I disagree with it. For me, I've said it many times that move alone is what is wrong with modern football, because there's no way Company should have gone to Bayern Munich after what he did with Burnley.
Do you think Jose Mourinho at Bayern Munich?
The problem, yes, that's what I'm saying. The problem is not Mourinho.
It's the new.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That if Mourinho is coaching Bayern Munich and you give him the funds, you give him access to certain players who can play the modern brand, I believe he'll deliver.
But I think the point they are trying to make is that now the club owners don't just care about results.
Yes,
Mourinho is a results man. Yeah. He's a results man, but they are looking for a certain pattern that would lead to those results, which is a certain style of play, the aesthetics, and all of that. The fact that you have to possess the ball, you have to be easy on the eye. They don't want Sean Dyche football. Is that what you're saying?
No, because you see teams like Brighton, Brentford, they get a goal kick and they are passing. English football, typical English clubs. I won't be surprised if Stoke come to the Premier League and they play the same way. Sunderland have been promoted to the Premier League. Think 10 years back, your image about Sunderland. Do you think they are going to be playing the same football? No. Because teams are beginning to change. And that is what I'm saying. No, the clubs you are saying who can afford those players are not going to bring Mourinho. Not because he's not a good coach, because they know he hasn't been known to play that kind of football. That is why Bayern needed a manager with Jose Mourinho free and not having a job. Still went for Vincent Kompany, a relegated Burnley manager. You understand? Because they want to play a certain brand of football.
On hindsight, do you think it worked out for them?
You see,
or do you think it's going to work out?
It's not for us to see.
You won't win the Champions League with them.
It might not have worked out for them, but at the end of the day, I don't think they will regret not taking Mourinho because their focus is their brand of football. They are going to win the Bundesliga anyway.
Okay,
you understand? So you see, they want that's my point on Mourinho. That's why at the point.
So you guys are saying that people don't want winners. The clubs don't want
winners.
They
want a brand of football.
Because Mourinho is a winner.
Yes. For me, I actually thought Bayern were going for him because, see, Mourinho, he made a statement, I think, when he was going to Roma. He said that was the first club he's going in about 4. That was the first club in about 10 years that were not prepared. That he said before Roma, the last 4 clubs he went to, they were not prepared to win, but there was pressure from fans and the coaches and manager and the board to win. So Roma gave him a breathing space. So after he was leaving Roma and that Bayern job was open, I thought Bayern were the perfect fit for him to give him the breathing space. But no, even Bayern at Germany, see, it's a trend developing in the modern game. No one is going for a pragmatic coach. Everyone wants to be building from the back, and it annoys me. Because that's what I'm saying. I blame Jose Mourinho for this because had he modified his game had he modified the style he had in 2005, which came in and shocked everybody, that no one had an answer to what Jose, he was doing something different. Younger coaches would have learned from him in the 2010s, 2015s, and we would have had several Jose Mourinho. That style would have been fashionable right now, so as to not be in quotes outmoded. You understand? But because he failed to modify that style, now everyone wants to play like Pep Guardiola, and that's why it's easy for him to win the league because you are not better at it than him. That's my problem with this style. It's a whole issue that annoys me a lot.
But Liverpool are not playing like him; they are playing their own brand.
Liverpool are playing a different brand of football. You understand? But Liverpool's on that high tempo club kind of gang pressing and all that. It's also a different brand, but it's not. It's still in vogue. But even if you watch Liverpool in the last season of club, when the players were bent out and everything, people are you could see that there are side effects of that style, and people are being cautious in modifying. But like you look at the Pep style, every coach, and you see people like Ajo. I'm going to even call him out here. They are the ones who are making the style in vogue. They are the ones who are making Mourinho not get a job.
Why?
Oh yes, because when Ajo sits and is analyzing matches, I like the build up. Yeah, because for them
the eye test.
What he wants. Right now. We have. See, let me tell you something. Right now in modern football, if a centre back is not able to pass the ball diagonally for 50 yards, he's a bad centre back.
Mourinho can do all these things. He can adapt.
The thing is, he has not shown that he can adapt.
Anyway,
in all this, you understand? I was watching a comp when Arsenal was inside Calafiori. I like the player. He's a very good footballer, and I believe he's going to take Arsenal forward. But I was worrying that I was watching a Calafiori comp, an Italian centre back, and for the first 3 minutes there was no tackle. All about passes. That is where football has gotten to now, and Mourinho hasn't modified his game to meet the current trends of football. That is why it has nothing to do with whether he's not a winner or whether he will obviously win the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich. But he has failed to modify this game, and that's why big clubs will not look at him.
Absolutely. And I wanted to make a point. Yes,
I don't agree with Likem. And now I'll side with Eustace. Eustace has always told me something. The players that can play for Mourinho right now, to an extent, some don't exist.
Thank you.
Those players that will kill themselves for the coach. Those players. I mean, let's even compare Mourinho to certain coaches in the system right now. Look at Simeone, what he's doing. It's like an advanced version of Mourinho.
But Simeone, has he done that to great success?
He has won the league.
I mean, to win the league twice in 10 years.
He's won the Europa with
where there's there's Real Madrid and Barcelona. I mean, 2 out of 10, I think is a great return. When Simeone picked up Atletico Madrid, they weren't in the top 10. They were a low-rated team, and he's brought them consistent Champions League appearances. You can't tell me there's no modicum of success in the system he plays. It's not the fanciful Man City style.
Let's let Anda make his point.
And I'm saying I'm standing on what Yusuf was saying, and I'll continue to say we need managers that Yusuf and you yourself, because you've been saying that football has become so technical and passing for a long time now that people like Mourinho, maybe I would say, will become like a breath of fresh air. They'll bring back that sense of park the bus and get out, grind results, even when it's not beautiful. Because some people still appreciate that kind of football. There's a reason why certain coaches still exist, and they too are not in top jobs right now. Look at Bielsa. He played a different style of football, and it got him. I mean, his time at Bilbao was largely good. You look at Mourinho, he's another one. We have Tony Pulis at Stoke City.
Yeah. Hey, Charlie.
long ball, crouching.
Long ball play was a thing.
Nobody wanted to go to Stoke City.
No.
Yeah,
like it was physical. No, I think his style was kill them. If you can't kill them, play the ball in the air, fly, something.
And even Hansi Flick is playing a style of football that is not like what he's saying is passing about easy on. Look, we need coaches like this.
And even the style of playing Newcastle and players. I think Newcastle play like typical Premier League football.
We need
like
coaches like
long,
this.
direct, physical. It can still work. We don't have to all look. You guys,
David Moyes.
You heard about Patrice Evra talking about the evolution of football and how the dribbler has been phased out of the game. Pass 1,000 passes. I saw Pep Guardiola explaining a tactic, and he was saying that he doesn't prefer his players to pass the ball more than 15 meters. He expects the short passes because it's safer. I mean, how scientific can it get?
I think that's one of the reasons why I like Ferguson, right? I've watched so many Ferguson documentaries, and Ferguson didn't get his players to overthink, right? He just made them understand their value to the team, understand his status in the team, and the culture of the team. Those are the three things Ferguson did. So everybody did what they could do to the best of their abilities. The wingers were running their socks off and delivering pinpoint crosses. The midfielders were fighting their lives out, because that is your job. The defenders were fighting to death.
Yes,
because that's what you had to do. So you didn't see Ferguson try to say pass the 15 meters.
Nemanja Vidic, you have to be able to pass like Xabi Alonso. If we were using those standards, Vidic, Ferdinand, all those guys,
they will not be good.
The reason why
John Terry would not have been a good centre back. Ricardo Carvalho, who said they don't know anything.
Exactly, because they were not born.
But those systems work.
Yeah,
it works.
You see, the reason why Mourinho went to Spurs and we won't see him in top 2, because he adapted to the Spurs way. He wanted to adapt to this current crop of players, their way.
Thank you.
So he was even learning to adapt to this lazy, quote unquote, modern day players.
He passes.
He became okay.